going to talk about where the demand curve comes from. And where it comes from, and where all consumer behavior comes from in economics, is from utility maximization. That's where everything with consumers starts with utility maximization. That's the basic building block of consumer behavior. Okay? And basically, utility maximization, and this is what this lecture will be about describing it. But basically, an overview is we posit some type of preferences. We posit consumer preferences, what consumers would like. We posit some budget constraint, what resources consumers have to get what they'd like. And then we do a constrained maximization problem that says, given your preferences, given what you'd like, subject to the resources you have available, what choices will you make? Okay? And in particular, we're going to ask, the term we'll use will ask, what bundle of goods makes you the best off? Given your preference, given your constraint, what bundle of goods? So think about consumers choosing across a set of goods. Typically, we're going to think about two goods, because graphs are easier to think about in 2 dimensions than more. Okay, so we'll typically think about trading off two goods. So think about consumers with preferences across two goods, some budget they can allocate, and how that they make those choices. But this basic framework applies to the multiplicity of choices we all make along many, many dimensions. So doing 2 dimensions to make as one of the simplifying assumptions I'll talk about. But that's just a simplifying assumption. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go through this in 3 steps. Okay, not just in this lecture, but over the next few lectures. Okay, step 1 is we're going to talk about what assumptions we make about preferences. So we'll talk today about preference assumptions. So sort of the axioms that underlie how economists model consumer preferences. We'll then talk about how we translate these preferences assumptions into mathematical tractability through the use of the utility function, which is basically a mathematical representation of underlying consumer preferences. So we'll talk about how we basically take these preferences and translate them to something that we can work with here at MIT by making it mathematical, by making a utility function. And then finally, we'll talk about budget constraints. And armed with these 3 things, we'll then be able to model how consumers make decisions.